ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والذين اجتنبوا الطاغوت أن يعبدوها وأنابوا إلى الله لهم البشرى فبشر عباد الذين يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه صدق الله وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم. My dear respected brothers in Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us tawfiq. We performed our Salat Fajr. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our ibadat. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us furthermore tawfiq to perform His ibadah in the proper way. My dear respected brothers, yesterday after Salat al-Zuhr, for my bayan, I recited an ayah of Holy Quran, قُلْ هَلْ يَسْتَوِي الَّذِينَ يَعْلَمُونَ وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ إِنَّمَا يَتَذَكَّرُ أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ. As you know, Allah has given us three means or three tools of seeking knowledge: getting knowledge or availing knowledge. And these three tools are alat and asbab are: number one, the senses; number two, the sense; and number three, the truthful news or al-khabaru sadiq. Now, as far as the case of senses is concerned, we call it al-hawasul khamsa al-zahira. We have the eyes, we see with. Allah has given us the ears, we hear with. We have the taste in our tongue. We have the smelling power in our nose. And we have the touching sense in our entire and whole body. But all these senses, Allah has given to animals as well. And once again, the animal, the word includes every living, moving entity, which is called the ba in general sense. And the ba mean a living, moving entity. The bugs, the birds, and the animals mostly. My dear respected brothers in Islam, they have these senses as well. If some of them, they do not have a specific sense, not individual, as a kind, as a know, But that power has been given to them. Whatever is meant there by using any one of these five senses, they do have it with another part of their body. For example, we have the bat. The bat is not coming out at daytime. It flies at night time. And maybe you heard or you have seen that the bat do not have the eyes. But when it flies, so how it feels that in front of me there is a tree or a wall or something else, if I will hit it, so I am gone. The collision, the accident. So at that time when it flies, so it whistles. And the ego that is coming back to the bat, he hears the ego, and thus he finds out that there is a hurdle or physical hindrance in front of me. So then he makes a U-turn, or he turns in circle. So what was needed by using the eyes, he is finding that through that ego or through his ear or hearing power. And also, most of us, we know that some of these animals, or even the creeping bugs, some of their senses are much more powerful than our senses. For example, there is one bug, maybe you have observed, you have seen that is stick there inside the ear of a bull or cow, or somewhere underneath its body, that is called tick. In Arabic, there is a saying, Fulanun asma'u min al-qirad, that Mr. So-and-so, he is much more good hearer than the tick. So it means the hearing power of tick is exemplary. Allama Damiri in Hayatul Haywan, he has mentioned, if that is lying on the ground, the tick, so it can hear the sound of a walking camel from 35 miles through the waves and layers of the ground. So my dear respected brothers, maybe you heard that the snake, which is a type of reptile, what is that? That's a reptile. So that's a type of reptile animal. It does not have the ears. But as you know, that the snake charmer, he is playing with bean and it does like this. So when it does not hear, so how he enjoys that tool? You know what I'm saying? So the actual thing is that the hearing power of snake is lying there in its tongue. And that's why you have seen the snake. It cannot keep its mouth closed, nor its tongue without giving it a movement or move constantly. By that, he is hearing the sounds. Got it? So actually, the animals, they have cells in their bodies. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has put a different type of qualities in different cells of different organs for different animals. Got it? And that's why, look at me, my dear respected brothers. That is mentioned there in Ilmul Kalam. But not the Ilmul Kalam we study there in madrasa, anywhere all over the world. 5 to 10 pages of a small risala, and we say that we studied Ilmul Kalam. Yes, that is. Otherwise, the ulama and scholars and the mutakallimin, they have written books in this regard in volumes. So they have mentioned that Musa alayhi salatu was salam, when he was going there to Mount Tur, to listen to the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَكَلَّمَ اللَّهُ مُوسَى تَكْلِيمًا. So in physical world or in alamut tabi'iyat, our physical tools, it has a certain conditions and limits as well, which is called al-qudud wal-huyud. Al-quyud wal-hudud. And that's why the Mu'tazila, they are of the view that certain ayat, or maybe say that thousands of ayat, the literal meaning is not meant there. But you have to go for its figurative meaning or metaphorical meaning, which is called the majazat. Like, as you are attending the Khatm Bukhari in different madaris, yes, وَنَضَعُ الْمَوَازِينَ الْقِسْطَ لِيَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ وَإِنَّ أَعْمَالَ بَنِي آدَمَ مَجُوزًا وَطُوزًا إِلَى آخِرِ الْحَدِيثِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that we will put a scale on the day of judgment to weigh the a'mal of Bani Adam. And the a'mal of Bani Adam are to be weighed there, to be measured there, to be evaluated there, so they may be recompensed with whatever their ajr or their iqab is. So now Mu'tazila, they say that a'mal bani Adam, that's min qabil al-a'raz ghayr qaruzzat. It does not have the qarar. The moment I moved my hand, it disappeared. The moment I uttered a word, so that disappeared. So what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will weigh on the day of judgment? There is no weight. If a thing does not exist, how can you weigh it? So thus, Mu'tazila, they say that wherever the waznul a'mal is mentioned there in ayah or in a hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that is a ta'bir from justice. And that's why you see all over the world, yes, I think that most of our brothers, they are from Bangladesh, sitting here. Yes. So if you will go there in Bangladesh, to the High Court or to the Supreme Court, so on the main entrance of the court, you will see the model of a scale there. Either a picture or a more physical model. Yes? If you will go here to Washington, D.C., which is close by, so on the Supreme Court, you will see the scale there. Yes? If you will go to certain Islamic countries, so they have put the scale there on the matar forehead of the High Court or Supreme Court. Some of them, they have written the ayah, وَأَقِيمُوا الْوَزْنَ بِالْقِسْطِ وَلَا تُخْسِرُوا الْمِيزَانِ. And some of them, they have written the ayah, اعْدِلُوا وَأَقْرَبُوا لِلتَّقْوَى. So it means that scale represents adl and justice. And that's what the Mu'tazila said, because they are rationalist, even though they are not using their sense properly. But still, they are called rationalist. They are called rationalist. Someone who does not have reason, so they are called rationalist. So anyhow, my dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, now Mu'tazila, they said that wherever the mizan or the adl or the scale in weighing of a'mal is mentioned in a hadith or in ayat of Holy Quran, so that is not meant literally, but that is metaphorically. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will administer the justice. Man amila salihan falinafsihi wa man asa'a fa'alayha wa ma rabbuka bizallamin lil-'abid. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, whosoever is practicing righteous good deed, that is for his own benefit. وَمَنْ أَسَاءَ فَعَلَيْهَا, who is doing other way around, it will befall him. وَمَا رَبُّكَ بِظَلَّامٍ لِلْعَبِيدِ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Holy Quran, اقرأ كتابك كفى بنفسك اليوم عليك حسيبا. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَوَجَدُوا مَا عَمِلُوا حَاضِرًا وَلَا يَظْلِمُ رَبُّكَ أَحَدًا. وَقَالُوا مَا لِهَذَا الْكِتَابِ لا يغادر صغيرة ولا كبيرة إلا أحصاها ووجدوا ما عملوا حاضرا ولا يظلم ربك أحدا. When everybody will be given his personal file in his hand, either in right hand, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make all of us from that group, Ameen. Or in left hand, or from behind his back. وَأَمَّا مَنْ أُوتِيَ كِتَابَهُ وَرَاءَ ظَهْرِهِ فَسَوْفَ يُحَاسَبُ حِسَابًا عَسِيرًا فَأَمَّا مَنْ أُوتِيَ كِتَابَهُ بِيَمِينِهِ فَسَوْفَ يُحَاسَبُ حِسَابًا يَسِيرًا وَأَمَّا مَنْ أُوتِيَ كِتَابَهُ وَرَاءَ ظَهْرِهِ. But in another ayah, وَأَمَّا مَنْ أُوتِيَ كِتَابَهُ بِشِمَالِهِ. Yameen is yameen everywhere. But as far as the case of bad amal or bad is concerned, so in one ayah Allah says, bishimalihi, in left hand. In another ayah it is said, wara azari, from behind his back. So now, from behind his back there is no contradiction. It will be given in his left hand but from behind the back. And that is an insult to someone giving him something from the back. And that's why Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi says that to answer assalamu alaikum or the greeting, saying salam to someone, to Muslim brother or sister, that is not strange sister, yes. Don't do that. Otherwise me too. So anyhow, my dear respected brothers and you know what I'm saying or not? No, you are very sharp and very smart. So Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi says, saying salam to Muslim, that is sunnah. That is what? Sunnah. That is sunnah, as Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says in a hadith narrated by Imam Tirmidhi, Haqqul Muslimi ala al-Muslimi sittun. Muslim has a due right incumbent upon the shoulder of another Muslim, 6 rights. Number 1, yusallimu alayhi iza laqiya. When they are coming across, saying salam to one another. And Fuqaha says, as-salamu ala man ta'rifuhu wa ala man la ta'rifuhu. Saying salam to one whom you know and he is a Muslim. And saying salam. And as you know, there are a few ulama. That was their own approach. Yes. That they have recording on their telephone. And as you know that here the people, they do call ulama sometimes, the non-Muslims even. Yes. So, they are not available at the moment. Please leave your number, telephone number and name and we will call you as soon as possible. Yes. So there in their message was, Assalamu ala man ittaba al-huda. Yes. We are not available at the moment. Leave your name and number. I say, why you put this Assalamu ala man ittaba al-huda? Yes. So they said, because non-Muslims are calling us. Said that what's the percentage of non-Muslims calling the ulama? Maybe 1 or 2 per 1,000, not 1 or 2%. You know what I'm saying? So why you are not saying Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh? I said that still, yes, some ulama are of the view saying Assalamu alaikum to a non-Muslim, that is not okay. You have to say Assalamu ala man ittaba al-huda. But I said that, let me tell you one thing else. And that is, saying laghan on a living human, that is not allowed in Sharia. Yes or not? As long as a human is alive, doesn't matter how big a non-Muslim or a kafir he is, you cannot say laghan on him. That may Allah curse you. Because laghan lughatan and literally, that is al-bu'du an rahmatillah. May Allah keep you far away from His rahmah and mercy. And the utmost highest category of mercy is iman. As a khair ummah, you are bound to convince people to accept Islam or to make a bad dua in this regard, that may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deprive you of iman forever. So that's why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says that you cannot do laghan on a non-Muslim even. Got it? You can ask mercy for a non-Muslim And your intention must be that this mercy mean may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless with iman. Got it? If you don't have that spirit as a Muslim, so are you khair ummah? Yes. You will be going only to the Muslims and knocking at the door and brother, yes, alhamdulillah, you have prayed the Asr prayer. A Jama'ah is here from New York in the masjid. And if you will join us and you will go with us and Mawlana Yas rahmatullah alayhi was a wali of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and zanna al-mu'minun bi anfusihim khaira. Zanna al-mu'minun wal mu'minat bi anfusihim say khaira. Yes, so in this regard, he taught us to say to every Muslim that alhamdulillah, maybe you have prayed your Salat Asr. Otherwise, the guy has known that he is not praying only but Salat Eid. Yes. But we are telling him that maybe you have prayed Salat Asr. Alhamdulillah, as a Muslim, you have prayed your Salat Asr if you will join us. You know what I am saying? And then we bring him here and we are teaching him the 6 numbers. Got it? What?
6 numbers.
The 6 number. And unfortunately, 6 points. Yes. So, unfortunately, some of our brothers, they are that much strict to 6 number that they have forbidden to learn a 7th number. Oh, brother, that is a type of course. It doesn't mean that 7th number is prohibited. So, for example, they will be there in Jama'ah. Here, Dars Quran is going, or Dars Hadith is going, but they say we are not getting involved in Masail. We are only in Fazail. Oh brother, nobody is asking you fatwa. You are here to listen to the alim that what he is saying. Has Mawlana Ilyas rahmatullah alayhi ever said that don't go close to a alim and to listen to tafsir or to hadith or to fiqh class or so and so on? Hum lakir ke fakir bane hue hain. Got it? Or not it? So, don't take me wrong. I am a very pakka tablighi. Yes? But anyhow, my dear respected brothers and sisters, have you ever been there in Raiwend? Any one of you? Yes, alhamdulillah. Yes. So, we had a basgar. Basgar means a farmer. Simple farmer, yes. Involved there in the land work and the labor and with the cattle. Yes. And once I heard him that he was praying his prayer, so which prayer was, everything was simple Muslims, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted. But then I told him that Ijtima is coming. You have to go to Ijtima with the Jama'ah. So he said that, Sheikh, actually my cattle, I say I will arrange for that. So I arranged someone to take his cattle for 3-4 days and he will join the Jama'ah and go to Raiwend. At least he will have a mahol, an environment. Maybe he will get convinced and later on he will spend some time and correct his prayer. Because he is praying 5 times a day, but the prayer is not correct. You know what I'm saying? And only the Jama'ah people, they can do that hard labor with someone like this to correct his prayer. So he went. When next year the Ijtima was coming, so I asked him in masjid that, he said, this time I saved some money. I don't need you to give me money. Yes, and I will go to Ijtima. I said, oh, you liked it. He said, of course. He said, of course. Of course. So I said that, what you liked? The bayan of Maulana Umar Sahib Palanpuri? Yes, or Maulana Ahmad Sahib from Bawalpur, rahimahumullah. Yes, or this and that. He said that, to tell you, Sheikh, I don't understand Urdu. I understand only Pashto. So I don't understand Urdu. So I said that, why you are going for Ijtimas? You say that I liked it. He said that the actual thing is, at that time, half of a rupee was called a tanni. Yes. A rupee? Yes. Half of that was called a tanni, like 2 quarters. Like what? 2 quarters are 50 cents. So I asked him that, what did you like there? He said that when you will go, 1 attorney, they give you that much halwa with that big cup of tea. For only 50 cents. Yes, that much halwa and that big cup of tea. Harka Seerah. Ya subhanallah. So anyhow, my dear respected brothers in Islam, now the point is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with iman. Say alhamdulillah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us humans. Say alhamdulillah. So I was referring to asbabul ilm, that the senses. We have it. Got it? But the rat has it. And the cat has it. And the dog. And they are our cousins. First cousins. Yes? They are animals and we are animals. So they are our cousins. They are or they are not?
Yes.
So many commonalities. Yes? And that's why Darwin got confused. Yes? And Darwin said, because he was a scientist of hayatiyat. What? Yes. He was a scientist of hayatiyat, life sciences. So he was talking about living entities. So he said that a reptile turned to mammals. Reptile turned to mammals. And mammals to apes. What?
Apes.
To apes. And apes to Mawla Mikael Sahib and Qazi Fazl Ullah. Got it? Like a car body. What? A car body and fixing different type of engines there. So there is Toyota Camry, there is a Mercedes engine, and there is a BMW engine, and now there is a Tesla engine. No engine. Yes, but only electric. Last night, one of my far relatives, they are in Harrisburg. We were there in Harrisburg?
Yes.
Yes. So he was taking me to his shop, and they were in their own car. So that was Tesla. So I asked him that what are the features of this Tesla? So that what he told me, that having no engine. I said, no mechanic. He said, of course, no mechanic. He said, I don't know, but nothing happened up till now, so I don't know if something happened where I will take it. Yes or not? So I said that your case is like that of someone who was lying on the ground. A frog crossed over his chest. A frog crossed over his chest. So he became afraid of that maybe a snake is there. So he jumped. He said, oh my God. Yes, but he said that that was a frog. So he started crying. He started crying. Mawla Mikael Sahib came in. He said, what happened? What's wrong with you? He said that the frog crossed over my chest. So he said, so then why you are crying? Frog is not biting. Maybe it has some type of rabies or poison, but it is not biting. If it would have been snake, it makes sense you have to cry. Yes, but Allah saved you. Yes. So, but you are crying for frog. He said, for snake, I would never cry. I would not have cried. So he said, why? He said, because the snake charmer, they have a type of dam for snake also. You know that or not? Say,
yes.
Because in Bangladesh, lot of them is there, the black magic and things like that. I don't know the reality, but people say like this. Yes?
Yes.
So they are doing some ruqya. For what? For snake biting or scorpion biting or dog biting or whatever. So he said, if it would have been snake. So I know the guy who is doing that dam. Yes, but unfortunately the frog does not bite. So we don't know that who is the guy who will do us ruqya. That's why I'm So my dear respected brothers in Islam, anyhow, the point is that senses. So we have it and they have it. And I told you that some of them, they have much more powerful senses than humans. And then the sense. This is actually the specification or special quality of human. That all other animals, they do not have the sense or aql. And we the human, we do have it. Otherwise, the modern world, most famous physicist, his name is? Stephen Hawking, who passed away a few years ago. Yes, and he was that much well known that his whole body was not working. You have seen his picture? Yes, he was sitting like this. Yes, and only with eyes and the machine. It was turning his movement of eyes into words, and the whole world was listening to his lecture. And to tell you one thing, and that is also based upon the tahqiq of Stephen. Stephen said that the ulama are here, but as I mentioned that they are not studying philosophy. In our time, big books of philosophies. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless our teachers.
Ameen.
Rahimahumullah. They were spending that much time with us to study the logic and the philosophy. Because it will sharpen your thinking, it will give you a thinking power. It will give you the istidlal, how to argue your case and to take a plea and provide the evidence in this regard. Are the dalail. So my dear respected brothers in Islam, Aristotle has been attributed to Aristotle. Because some other ulama, they are of the view that the basic concept is not given by Aristotle. It has been given by Abu ibn Sina, the father of medicine. But as he was the expertise of the philosophy of Aristotle, and based on his philosophy, he has given this idea. So that's why the very idea is attributed to Aristotle, that he was the founder. So he has divided animal brain into three portions, from forehead towards the back. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. So he says that in first portion, furthermore division is there. 2. Yes, subdivisions. Here 2, and there 2. So altogether 6. So he said that the 5 senses, what?
5.
The eyes, they are taking picture only. But they are not doing idrak. The ear, they are taking picture of sounds. They don't differentiate that what is. Same is the case of your nose. When they take the picture, so they give it back to the frontal part of the first portion, which is called al-hissul mushtarak. And hissul mushtarak, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given it the quality to differentiate between sound and sound, voice and voice, smell and smell, yes, words and words, and things like that. You know what I'm saying? When it's sensed and the sound is gone, the smell is gone, the picture is gone, so then it gives the file to the second portion, and that is called al-khayal. That sense is called al-khayal. So al-khayal is the storage of all these pictures. Sounds are preserved there. Smells are preserved there. Yes, pictures are preserved there. Whatever you know through your touch, that is preserved there. And later on, when you smell the same thing, right away you find out, oh, rose flowers, or jasmine flower, or this fragrance and this fragrance, or the sound, oh, the donkey is braying. Oh, the dog is barking. Oh, Mr. So-and-so is speaking. Why? Because already you have the file there. So when you hear that sound once again, so right away, this new file is complying with the old file, and it tells you this sound of Mr. So-and-so. When you receive the call on your telephone, and therefrom, the guy say, hello? So right away say, Maulana Mikail Sahab, how are you doing? How you found out? Are you alimul ghaib? Are you hear from in New York that this is Maulana Mikail Sahab? No, his voice is there preserved and safe in your khayal, and now the new voice of him. So when you paid up, or when you tallied it, so you recognize that this is the voice of Maulana Mikail Sahab. Got it? Then there are ma'nawiyat. And ma'nawiyat, for its idrak, there is another sense which is called al-wahm. And that is the back portion of the middle portion of your dimagh, or the dimagh of every animal. And when the wahm is taking the picture of that ma'na, so it preserves the file as well, and that is there in the first or frontal part of the third portion of your brain. And that is called al-hafiza, or memory. Al-hafiza?
Memory.
Yeah, or memory. And then, as far as the composing is concerned, so here, before the wahm, in the middle portion of the animal brain, and we are animal as well, There is one quwwa, and that is called as-sultana al-mutasarrifa. And the modern sciences people, they are calling it medulla oblongata. So medulla oblongata is composing the ma'naviyat and the hissiyat, and then they are giving you a combined picture there that what is. And some people, their composer is not working properly, so when they speak, so they are making mess and making mixing. If your composer is working proper, your khayal is working proper, your hissi mushtarak is working proper, your hafiza and waham are so say alhamdulillah. And that is a case of only one cell, a case of only one neurons. How many neurons we have in our brain?
About 100 billion.
100 billion only in brain, 100 billion. And if one or two of that got disturbed, so then the guy, he will be sitting in front of you and he's somewhere. You will be talking to him, he doesn't understand. Otherwise, in 100 billion, only one cell or two cells here. Alhamdulillah, say Alhamdulillah. Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, protect us from any disturbance in this regard. وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا وَإِن تَعُدُّوا وَآتَاكُمْ مِنْ كُلِّ مَا سَأَلْتُمُوهُ وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَظَلُومٌ كَفَّارٌ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, how many ni'mah I have given you, how many favors I have given you. If you will study only your body, so in your body, there are cells, how many in number?
37 trillion.
37 trillions. There is million, there is billion, and then there is trillion. 37 trillion cells you have in your body. وَتَحْسَبُ أَنَّكَ جِرْمٌ صَغِيرٌ وَفِيكَ انْتَوَتْ الْعَالَمُ الْأَكْبَرُ وَتَحْسَبُ أَنَّكَ جِرْمٌ صَغِيرٌ. You think that you are that small body? 5 feet, 5'10", 5'11", let's say Shaquille O'Neal or whatever. Yes. So we'll be 6'5" or something. How long he is?
7'1".
7'1", 7'2".
7'1", 7'2", let's say 10. Yes. So if 10, so what is 10? 10 feet. وَتَحْسَبُ أَنَّكَ جِرْمٌ صَغِيرٌ وَفِيكَ انْتَوَتْ الْعَالَمُ الْأَكْبَرُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I have accommodated the whole world here from up to galaxies. Not only those galaxies who have been discovered by James Webb telescope nowadays. The new telescope, you have seen the pictures.
Yes.
Yes or not? Amazing. They say the galaxy which we have, thousands of galaxies are behind that. And beyond that, there are so many we don't know. مَا يَعْلَمُ جُنُودَ رَبِّكَ إِلَّا هُ. Creature of Allah is known to Allah alone. Nobody else knows. وَالسَّمَاءَ بَنَيْنَاهَا بِأَيْدٍ وَإِنَّا لَمُوسِعُونَ. As the scientists, they say nowadays, the astronomers, they say nowadays that galaxies are expanding. Galaxies are expanding. So people were saying, what did they say? We say, oh, Quran told us long ago. وَالسَّمَاءَ بَنَيْنَاهَا بِأَيْدٍ وَإِنَّا لَمُوسِعُونَ. Aid is the plural of yad. Yes, but a ta'bir from quwwa. So وَالسَّمَاءَ بَنَيْنَاهَا قَوِيَّةً جِدًّا. Such a qawi and such a strong structure that the stucco is not falling down. You are doing stucco to your walls or not? Say.
Yes.
Here you are not using, I think, the wooden wall. Outside there is stucco. Yes? Sometimes it falls down. Have you ever heard that in such and such place, some stucco of the heaven or the sky fell down? No. Never. وَالسَّمَاءَ بَنَيْنَاهَا بِأَيْدٍ وَإِنَّا لَمُوسِعُونَ. We are expanding it. وَالْأَرْضَ فَرَشْنَاهَا فَنِعْمَ الْمَاهِدُونَ وَمِنْ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ خَلَّقْنَا زَوْجَيْنِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَذَكَّرُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, everything we have created in pairs. Even the heavenly bodies, the stars, they are floating in pairs because they are balancing one another. Here is one star. If the other star will fall down, this one will fall down as well. If that is diffused, this one will get diffused as well. Because they are balancing and controlling one another. You know what I'm saying? Then they cannot work if one of them will fall down. And Allah says, وَمِن كُلِّ شَيْءٍ خَلَقْنَا زَوْجَيْنِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَذَكَّرُونَ. What is تذكر? وهو التفكر. هذه معنى لغوية والمعنى الساذج. But actually that is not the only meaning for تذكرون. لعلكم تقيسون أن الخلق في زوجين والخالق أحد صمد لا ند له ولا زد له ولا شريك له ولا مثل له ولا مثال له. Abu Ali al-Rawdbari rahmatullahi alayh, a great mutakallim. Who? Abu Ali al-Rawdbari. So he says that Surah Al-Ikhlas, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ اللَّهُ الصَّمَدُ لَمْ يَلِدْ وَلَمْ يُولَدْ وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. So Abu Ali says that قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ نَفْيُ التَّعَدُّدِ اللَّهُ الصَّمَدُ نَفْيُ النَّقْضِ وَالتَّكَسُّرِ لَمْ يَلِدْ وَلَمْ يُولَدْ نفي التجانس والمجانسة ولم يكن له كفوا أحد نفي المماثلة والمشابهة. I want to come here to give you a crash course of logic and philosophy. Then you will understand that what Allah says and what Rasulullah says sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because by doing so to Quran and Sunnah, you are bringing it very much close and near to the aql of people. And we are living in such a world nowadays when the people are too much influenced by science more than Allah and by aql more than naql. We believe too much in aql or too much in naql? Too much in aql. And we believe too much in Allah, too much in science. Too much in science. But now, according to Imam Waliullah rahmatullahi alayh, he says that you have to present the concepts of Quran and Sunnah to the general public because a time is coming, he said at that time, that a time is coming that people will be much more influenced by physical world and by physics. So you have to give them tamsil of ma'qul bil mahsus. I was telling the brothers in my dars that what is our duty, especially living in nowadays modern world. Number one, whatever is there in nusus or in naql, in Quran and Sunnah, that is called manqul. That's called manqul. So we have to give an example of manqul with ma'qul or to make the manqul ma'qul, to bring it close to the aql of people. And then if ma'qul is not understandable easily, so then to give an example of mahsus. For example, once I was referring to something that nowadays we are in bad shape. Not only here in Western world. It goes here from up to the far east. And if there is any other west, so up to the far west. Because the whole world and alam, that is only one single unit. Only one. Dr. Martin Luther King, he said that we, the people all over the globe, we are tied to one another in one tight fabric. Like a tight fabric that is tightened here, and we are on that, lying on that. Got it? So he said that something which affect one directly, it affected the remaining indirectly. What will affect you here, it will affect people in Bangladesh as well. What will affect you there, it will affect the people in Central America as well. Like as you know, that nowadays, Pakistan is in a very bad situation because of flood. You know that or not? Yes. So what is that? The global warming. What? The climate change and the global warming. Who caused it to the whole world? Pakistan. Their portion is only 0.4%. The carbon we are providing to the beautiful word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through modern technology. Once again, Dr. Stephen Hawking, he said that actually we are going to ruin and destroy this world. He's a physicist, so he's talking physically. So he said that we are going to ruin and destroy this whole world by three factors or three destroyers. Number one, the population. What? Population. The population. Because this globe which Allah has created, naturally, that is kifat only for 4 billion people. But how many we are living nowadays on the globe?
Around 8 billion.
Roughly 7.5 or something. Or roughly 8 billion. So double of the population which this globe can accommodate. So then, what you need? Artificial food, the chemicals, the hormones. This chicken which you are making barbecue and you are eating it, do you think that that is meat or that is chicken or that is plastic?
Plastic.
Say loudly.
Plastic.
That is plastic. Only Moli Mikhail Sahab at home, he has lot of chickens. Yes? And some of them, 3 or 4, they are mullahs because they are giving azan. Yes. So yesterday, he took me toward his chicken and he said that I have this big bunch of chickens. So there was one rooster. Yes. So he said that this is the male. This is the male. So I said because it has the crown. It has?
The crown.
The crown. So he said, but look, he has the beard also. So I say, we are 2 in 1. On one side is a mullah, on the other side he is a king. Having a crown, he is a king, and having a beard, he is mullah. So anyhow, my dear respected brothers in Islam, so I was referring to that at Stephen Hawking. He says, number 1, the population. And number 2,
industrialization.
Say,
Industrialization.
Huh? Industrialization. Because industrialization is providing what? Carbon. And what is carbon? That's poison. And we are eating that poison day and night. Yes or not? That's why neither our brain is working proper, nor our eyes are working proper, our hearing power is not working proper. And stomach, I think that 99% stomach is gone. Because all these hormones and chemicals which we are eating, that is killing your stomach. And it killed already. It killed? Now we are too late. Now, we are too late. And number 3, say, the bacteria. Because the scientists, they are working in library. And they are creating new bacteria for their research work. And sometimes the bacteria goes out of control. When it goes out of control, then the scientists don't know how to control this bacteria now. It is causing a trouble to the whole world. I was referring to one case that Brazil. What? Brazil. Where that is?
South America.
That's South America. So Brazil, it has the Amazon forests. And Amazon forest is the major source of providing oxygen to the whole world. We are breathing because of what? Amazon forests. So some time back, they were under debts by IMF, by World Bank, by certain other institutions. Under debt, how many? $37 billion. How many?
37 billion.
$37 billion. And their sources were not enough to pay the debts and the interest as well. So they wrote a request to the world institution, especially to our country, which is heading all these institutions, that please pardon our debts. Got it? Pardon our debts. So I said no. They said that pardon our interest at least because we are unable to pay it. So the institutions said no, you have to pay the debt and the interest both. Got it? So they said okay. So we don't have sources. We have to cut off the Amazon forest and to sell all that stuff to the whole world. So we will pay the debts. So the people came back to their sense. If they will cut the Amazon forest, so no oxygen is there, so it means that the whole world is going to die. Yes? And they said, look, you are breathing because of our forest. We are dying slowly because of these debts, because we don't have. And you are enjoying your life with the oxygen or by the oxygen we are providing you. So we want to cause death to the whole world all at once. Let's die together. So then they said, oh, please, for God's sake, don't do that. Don't kill the whole world. You know what I'm saying? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created this world in such a way that we are dependent on one another. Allah says, نَحْنُ قَسَمْنَا بَيْنَهُمْ مَعِيشَهُمْ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. Say, the Huffaz, وَرَفَعَ بَعْضَكُمْ فَوْقَ بَعْضٍ دَرَجَاتٍ لِيَتَّخِذَ بَعْضُكُمْ بَعْضًا سُخْرِيًّا وَرَحْمَةُ رَبِّكَ خَيْرٌ مِّمَّا يَجْمَعُونَ. You are Huffaz Kiram, Ramazani Huffaz. I am only Shabani Hafiz. Yes. There is Ramzani Hafiz, there is Shabani Hafiz. Ramzani Hafiz who memorized the Quran properly, I never memorized Quran, unfortunately. Yes, but I am that much involved in Quran that automatically that came to my brain. So when I start recitation, so the Hafiz does not know I recite constantly. So نحن قسمنا بينهم معيشة في الحياة الدنيا ورفع بعضكم فوق بعض درجات ليتخذ بعضكم بعضا سخريا ورحمة ربك خير مما يجمعون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, we have distributed the means and sources of life amongst you people. نحن قسمنا بينهم معيشة في الحياة الدنيا ورفع بعضهم فوق بعض درجات. And we have given raf'at to some of you over the others. And this raf'at, elevation, priority, status, position, rank has been given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to every single individual. Why? One man, he has lot of wealth, bank balances, properties, but his body is crippled. And there is another one who is working in 7-Eleven. He is hand to mouth, but his body is okay from head to toe. So it means that their wealth-wise priority has been given to that rich person, but bodily, he is almost crippled. And here the poor guy, he has been given the health and very strong structure, but he does not have the money. He needs this guy and this guy needs him. Nahnu qasam, for example, you are living here. You are making good money. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you a lot, but only halal. May Allah protect all of us from haram. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says in a hadith, Lahmun nabata min as-suht fannaru awla bihi. Lahmun nabata min as-suht fannaru awla bihi. The flesh or the meat which is grown of eating haram, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says it deserves the hellfire. May Allah protect all of us. نحن قسمنا بينهم. Now look, we are asking one question. Last night when we were there, so my relative, he took us to his pizza store. So there was the chicken. Yes. What type of chicken?
Fried chicken.
The fried chicken. So he was giving these friends the fried chicken. They said, no, we have eaten food. He said, this is halal, I am a Muslim. He's a Jewry guy. He said, this is halal, I am a Muslim guy. Yes. So anyhow, this halal, we are too much curious about. When we go to a restaurant, meat is halal. Yes, slaughtered properly with Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, or not. But when we are going to our job and business, for earning, we are not asking that my earning is halal. This haram is to be pardoned and forgiven very easily by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One guy was a tablighi. So he came to me and he said that, Sheikh, there I ate chicken. Later on I found that that is not slaughtered properly with kalima. That is not slaughtered properly with kalima. So now what can I do? So I said, you cannot do, I can do it. So I said, what can you do in this regard? I said, to cut your belly and to bring it out and throw it away. Because you have eaten it. There is no any other way to get rid of that. I said, Amir Sahib, this is also good that you are thinking like this. But convey the message. Earning haram dollar, that is much more bigger a haram than this one. Think of your earning. That type of earning we do not think of. So my dear respected brothers in Islam, anyhow, so Stephen says, that the brain, here from up to here, vertical, not horizontal. This division, it was horizontal. This division, that is vertical. So on vertical basis, the brain has 3 stories. الطبقة الأولى, الطبقة الوسطى, الطبقة العليا. The ground story, the middle story, and the upper story. So he says that all human, they have the ground story. And there the system that is called brain system. And middle story, all the animals, they have it. And there, the limbic system. And then the upper story that is developed only in human. But as he is a physicist, he is not a believer. So as a physicist, he say that here the brain system is developed even in reptiles. In what?
Reptile.
In reptiles. And they have a type of brain. The reptiles, they have a type of brain. And that is in mammals, in apes, and human as well. And then there the middle story that has been developed mostly in mammals, to some extent in reptile, yes, and also in human. And then the third story or the upper story that is developed only in human, which is called cerebral cortex, thinking power. So thinking power is here. That is not here, nor here, that is only here. Here is the brain system. What is the function of brain system? It is giving life to your body and to your organ. Your heart is beating because of what? Brain system. Your lungs are working because of brain system. Your kidneys are working because of brain system. Your liver is functioning because of brain system. And the same thing is going on there in reptiles and other animals as well. But the middle story, what? What? Say? The middle story, the limbic system. To some extent that is in reptile. Reptiles are becoming angry very rarely. But the animals, they are becoming angry very swiftly. You have seen the anger of just well, a red fabric to a bull. What the bull will do? He will run on you because you caused him anger. Or a dog, you caused him anger. Same thing is happening to human as well. But the brain system, thinking power, so Stephen said that brain system that has been developed in all living, moving entity. Limbic system also to a great extent. But he said that the cerebral cortex, the upper story system that is developed only in human brain, not in anything else. He said why it is so? Coincidence. Why it was so? Coincidence. Why this upper story function is developed there in human but not in other animals? He said coincidence that we don't know why it is developed here, not in the donkeys. Because have you ever seen donkeys that are studying the books? Say, are they making research? So why? So he said that is going. So I was telling them that as he was not a believer, otherwise to answer this question, why it happened, that is very easy. Because Allah willed so. In reptiles, Allah willed so. In mammals, Allah willed so. In human, Allah willed so. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed us with aql. And based on aql, there are 2 things. Number 1, to exploit and utilize the word of Allah. And we do that. And number 2, to be obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Furthermore, inshallah, if Allah wills, sometime again. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. والصلاة والسلام على رسوله محمد وآله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم ربنا احسن عاقبتنا في الأمور كلها وأجرنا من خزي الدنيا وعذاب الآخرة. ربنا أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. اللهم ربنا أعنا ولا تهنا وآثرنا ولا توسر علينا. اللهم ربنا اهدنا واهد بنا واجعلنا هداة مهديين دعاة إلى سبيلك وحماة الدين. اللهم ربنا اجعلنا من الراشدين الذين يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه. ربنا اجعلنا من التوابين ومن المتطهرين واجعلنا من عبادك الصالحين الذين لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. لا إله إلا الله الحليم الكريم. سبحان الله رب العرش العظيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. نسألك موجبات رحمتك وعزائم مغفرتك والغنيمة من كل بر والسلامة من كل إثم. لا تدع لنا ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا هما إلا فرجته ولا حاجة من حوائج الدنيا والآخرة لك إلا قضيتها ولا دينا إلا أديته ولا مريضا ومرضا إلا شفيته ولا ميتا مسلما إلا غفرت له ولا مشكلة إلا سهلته ولا مشكلة إلا سهلته ولا مشكلة إلا سهلته ولا عدوا إلا هزمته وكبته ولا مجاهدا إلا نصرته ولا طالب علم إلا علمته ولا عالما إلا عملته ولا عاملا إلا أخلصته ولا مخلصا إلا قبلته. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وآله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.